everybody, this is Richard and welcome again to Howtomakeadesignerhandbag.com. Today I'm going to be doing a broken bottom clutch with a, I guess I would call it a tunnel tailored gusset. And it's really just me mixing different techniques, and that's why we teach techniques on this site, is because like music with 7 notes, with these techniques you can make a variety of different kinds of handbags by mixing and matching the techniques together. And so that's what we're doing. This project came about due to my sister-in-law, who works for a place called Rediscovery in Santa Monica, and she's on the board there. And what they do is a non-profit, and what they do is they gather materials from different vendors, architects, fabric place, people that are throwing away things. Instead of just throwing it away in the dump, they donate it to Rediscover. And the purpose of Rediscover is to take these items or these materials and produce other items or something functional that people can use from them. So she gets a lot of this material, plastics, all kinds of things, rings, plastic rings, reflective material, all sorts of things. And so she asked if I had any ideas of what could be done with this. So I sent her off a couple of totes, patterns for a couple of totes. And one of the things I wanted to show her that she could possibly make that may be interesting for her and the people that come and patronize her place would be to be able to make clutches. And clutches are really nice bags. They're very easy to make, and you can put a whole lot of style in them with a little imagination. So what happened was, originally I decided that I was going to do the clutch, and what happened was first I did this particular bag here, and I did a few mistakes, but the biggest mistake was I didn't leave a lot of sewing area right here in my gusset, so it made it really hard to sew. So with that being said, I decided that I would do this tutorial over to show you how to get the right effects so that you can sew this. So this is the second bag I did it, and this is actually just some curtain material that was donated, and this is some material that I went and bought and redid the bag with. But as you can see, there's a big difference. Now I can sew because I made this a 1/2 inch rather than 3/8 of an inch. So this made this very easy for me to sew on my cylinder. Now, if you were making this bag, and I'm going to show you how to do this, if you were making this bag, I'm going to show you, and you can see where the distance is right here. I'm going to show you how you can do this and make this bag on a flatbed. We're going to be doing our clutch, and we're going to be doing our front and back master first. But one of the things I want to go over again with you real quick is to show you this difference. And I talked about this part of the gusset, but I didn't really talk about the bottom. So as you can see, I extended the bottom, and the reason for that is I just wanted a little bit more room to put my foot down, or I just wanted to be able to sew across this and have a little bit more to sew. So that's one of the reasons I did, because it's a very small stitch right here, and I wanted something a little bit more. Okay, and so that's why that's wider. It went from 1.5 inches, which is this, to 2 inches, which is that. So that's why we did that. So now, the first thing we need to do is go ahead and talk about this front and back. And my front and back is 10 by 6, and of course, you know, you straighten one edge, score your paper, straighten one edge, and then you mark out your front and back. I'm not going to go through that process because this is a square or a rectangle. So anyway, here's your front and back. Now, the next thing I want you to do to your front and back is decide how much room you're going to need on your machine so that you can put your foot down so that you can put your foot down and it'll go down this way. Now you want your stitch to be right here on this edge as close as possible, but you need to put your whole foot down in here to be able to sew properly. So the way we handle that problem is we take this pinhole here. We're going to make a pinhole. Now I have a cylinder and I needed a 1/2 inch. So what I did was measured over 1/2 inch from my side of my front and back, and then from the bottom of the front and back I measured up a 1/2 inch. And right here I made a pinhole, and I circled my pinhole and I named it pin. And those pins are going to be very important because they're going to determine how big my bottom is, how I'm going to work my bottom. And so the next piece of pattern we're going to do is the bottom broken bottom gusset that's going to go onto your front and back. Okay, the first thing I've done is I went ahead and straightened my top, and now I have to make this squared so that I have a middle to make my broken bottom. So I just go ahead and pin that in the middle, and then I'm going to score. Okay, and now we have our middle, and now I'm going to make my broken bottom. The first thing I want to do is measure the distance between my pinholes, because this is where my bottom is going to be, and there's 9 inches between the pin lines. And the reason here is, let me go ahead and show you, is because you want your bottom not to come to the edge of your gusset like this. So you want your bottom kind of recessed in so that you have this room, and that's what this pin, and that's what measuring between the pins to make your bottom is going to accomplish. So what you do is you go ahead and you do that, and we're going to fold it. That's 9 inches. I'm going to measure that out, 4.5, then flip it, do it again, and then cut. Now this should be 9 inches. And I want my bottom to be 2 inches wide. So I'm going to go down, and I'm going to measure 1 inch, go back over, get that in there, and then make my cut. Okay, now this should be 2 inches and just a little off. Let me measure my 2 inches out one more time. Oh yeah, it's a little off. Get my 2 inches in there. And then I'm going to cut again. And I should come out with a 2 inch wide bottom. Now, because this is 2 inches, and as we can see that is definitely 2 inches, and we're 9 inches in between our pins here, and we got our pin. Look, you know, sometimes you got to be careful with your rulers and measure from the exact distance, because some rulers are a little off and you end up not actually getting a true measurement. So I'm going to start up a little bit and see if we can get this 9 to work. Looks like this is more like the 9 I'm looking for right there. And then we'll go ahead and do that and cut this little bit here off. You want to keep your measurements true as much as possible. You don't want to be off too much because it'll throw your bag off. So that should be the 9. Let's check it and make sure that it's right in there between those pinholes. and we got our 2, and we got our 9. Okay, and there it is. That's our 9. Don't forget the notch. And then the next thing we have to do is take in consideration these pinholes we made, and these are a 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do is measure down, fold the lengthwise, measure down a 1/2 inch, and pin. Okay. Okay. Now those are the pinholes there that we'll be working with as we go forward with our pattern. And we're going to make sure that we put those pinholes on both sides. And now we're going to make a window, and we're going to make a 1/4 inch window. I'm going to measure down about a 1/2 inch in, maybe 3/8 of an inch in. Let's see. Let's go a 1/2 inch in. I just want to mark it where it is. And now from there, what I'm going to do is make my 1/4 inch window, and that's 1/8 on each side. So I'm going to go on 1/8, pin, fold my pattern, and note the pin marks on the other side. Now I'm going to go down another 1/4 inch, and this is where my break, I don't need to make my break a 1/4 inch, so I'm going to make it like 3/16 of an inch so that it breaks out easy. So I got that, and then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that pinhole all the way around, and this is where my break is going to be. Okay, and now I'm going to draw that out for you so you can see it. And when I'm through drawing this out, you should have your broken bottom stay. And you're going to name it broken bottom stay for your clutch, the name of your clutch, and you will be finished. And then the next part we'll do is the gusset, and actually Linda is going to do the gusset for you. Put her to work, and there it is. Go ahead and name it broken bottom gusset. This is for, not gusset, but broken bottom stay. We're going to go ahead and make this bend this away, and we're going to cut 1 and the name of our clutch right there. Okay, and that's your broken bottom stay.